The Field of Spinning Dust Circles, 2011, Utah, USA. It began on a quiet afternoon in the Utah desert, one of those wide, sun-bleached days where the horizon feels impossibly far away and nothing ever seems to move. But on that day in 2011, something did move. Something strange, precise, and utterly mesmerizing. It started as a single swirl of dust, a tiny spiral rising from the cracked earth like a breath from the desert itself. Harmless, ordinary, almost easy to ignore. But then it happened again, and again, and again. Within minutes, dozens of them began forming, small, perfectly round vortices of dust spinning in absolute unison. Not drifting, not wandering, not scattering like normal dust devils. These circles held their position, rotating like synchronized dancers in a silent, otherworldly performance. An entire field of spinning dust rings, each one identical in speed, size, and rhythm, as though some invisible conductor had quietly lifted a baton. The first witnesses were a group of hikers. Exhausted from the desert heat, they thought their eyes were deceiving them. Dust devils? Sure. Utah has plenty. But this was geometry. This was choreography. This was nature behaving with almost mechanical precision. They walked closer. Not too close, just enough to sense something odd in the air. A low hum, barely there, like static caught in the wind. The dust circles didn't react to their presence. They didn't merge, scatter, or fade. They spun in place, unwavering, as though locked into hidden positions by forces nobody could see. One hiker lifted a hand toward the nearest vortex. The dust responded, but not by collapsing. Instead, the circle widened, becoming sharper, as if acknowledging her movement. Witnesses described it like watching a lens focusing itself. The air grew cooler around the spinning rings, not hotter as a dust devil normally would. That contradiction alone sent chills through the group. Then, just as suddenly as they had formed, the circles shifted, not randomly, together, a perfect, simultaneous tilt. Each vortex leaned toward the west as though drawn by a shared command. The synchronized movement was so clean, so deliberate, that the hikers stumbled back in shock. And then they dissolved. Not blown apart, not scattered. They simply unraveled into the wind, vanishing in wisps that drifted away like fading smoke. No machines, no seismic activity. No known weather pattern could explain it. Meteorologists who reviewed the footage called it extraordinary, anomalous, and unlike any documented dust devil behavior. To this day, no one can fully explain how dozens of identical vortices rotated with such precision, or what invisible force orchestrated their brief, perfect dance. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.